Be warned, I'm going to be tearing down holy nerd idols with this piece. Star Wars and Star Trek. I never really liked either of these franchises much at all. For someone in my generation, this is somewhat of an anomaly. When it comes to sci-fi, it would be true to say that these two represent the pinnacle. For years, I couldn't put my finger on what it was that didn't appeal to me. It's as if in reality, the shows are just about pure technology. The story bits are kind of bolt-ons to a soulless mechanism. Let's distill these fictions down to their base elements. Take Star Wars. Side note, THX 1138 was by far George Lucas's best work. That's in my opinion, but Star Wars is what he's best known for. But let's look at the story. A farm boy swept up into a rebel insurgency against an evil empire that's built the ultimate malevolent machine, a space station that destroys entire planets. He learns the mystical force from a small green troll and steals the schematics to find the weak point, and then he rescues the princess and blows up this evil machine. Even the quote-unquote force, the one genuine mystery in this mythology, gets treated as a sort of science by the most learned in the story. So there's not much mystery to it at all. And then there's Star Trek, which wears the skeleton even more openly. Gene Roddenberry flew bombers in World War II and later joined the LAPD, where he started writing television scripts. And given that kind of background, it's no wonder this is what he came up with for his story. Literally, the Earth-based space navy, traveling the galaxy on expeditions. Every episode takes place on board of a spaceship where everyone is an officer of some type. The demeanor of the characters, especially on the bridge, reflects rigid militarism. Their prized technology is the transporter, which might as well be thought of as the final evolution of the radio. Instead of broadcasting sound, it broadcasts the entire human body to a location. For some, Star Trek, more than Star Wars, represents kind of technological utopian vision of the future that some people are really fond of for some reason. But look at what's going on in these universes. It's a little more than physical beings and their technologies and what happens around them. We get humans doing all kinds of stuff with advanced gadgets. The aliens and even the robots read kind of like humans. Just colorful physical distortions of us with new toys. It seems gimmicky in this sense to me. And what's worse, especially with Star Trek, is that the systems these beings live under mirror the systems of today in form and function. Navies, officers, empires, meetings. I found myself asking, who wants a future like that, given how popular they are? I guess a lot of people do. But here's what I think. These are like heavily materialist stories or mythologies that permeate the Western collective consciousness, and because they're dressed in scientific ideas, they quietly reinforce the materialist reductionist view of the world, which, let's face it, is just kind of dumb. Science doesn't explain everything, and it likely never will. The mystery they keep promising in these mythologies, the frontier, is the one thing that these stories refuse to actually contain. This is in some way actually counterproductive to real science, as it creates like fans who sort of deify science. Maybe this is exactly what the majority like about these stories, is because it sort of reinforces their worldview and provides a feeling of safety and comfort in some way.
There is a science fiction modern mythology that I've loved since a child and even to this day.
What I remember the most is waiting in anticipation on Saturday mornings, when sometimes a Godzilla movie would be shown. That's a love that stuck. From childhood up until this very day, Godzilla still holds something for me that those other stories never did, and it took me a long time to understand what that was. There's no safety and comfort in a radioactive lizard forged to the follies of science at the bottom of the ocean. That is what Godzilla had all this time. He's not technology and he can't be reasoned with or out-engineered or filed into the chain of command. He's just the force of nature, the unexplained walking into the city, the part of reality no instrument on the bridge could measure. That is far more interesting a story than any about spaceships or laser swords, in my opinion. So as for me, I find ideas larger than myself, larger than physicality or technology, the most interesting. I don't think space is the final frontier. If we're to believe what we're told about space, then it's largely vast, inhospitable, and covered with floating rocks. And that doesn't seem worth exploring until we figure out why we're here, which we don't have any idea. And if I'm honest, I'd much rather watch Godzilla destroy the Federation headquarters than watch a scene of officers having a meeting inside of it.